Hi! Today I'm gonna show you how to knit this beautiful triangle shawl. Let's get started. Okay, first of all, please check my description box for all the detail. I put pretty much everything you need. Also, the link for my written pattern. Today, as I mentioned earlier, triangle shawl with this beautiful candle flame lace stitch. As you can see, there's lots of yarn over and decreasing method. Okay, here and there. So, looks a little bit like skinny triangle, but don't worry, it just little shrink, the length, the height is quite tall. And if you stretch that out, see, it's not skinny triangle. So don't worry about it too much. Okay. So the yarn I use, this one, I pretty much use all one skein. This is how much left over. So I would say pretty much 650 yard that I use. And the needle, 4.5 millimeter, I didn't actually knit swatch for this project. Okay? Because I know when I want to stop. This is just a repeat, and whenever you feel like it, you can stop. All right? So, again, I didn't knit swatch. So, it's really up to you. And the edge of the, shawl, there's actually garter stitch, and I tried to get the nice edge as well. And this is actually back of the shawl. Looks actually good. I like this kind of wavy stitch. So you can actually use the wrong side as right side too. It's really up to you. Okay, so let's move on to knitting part. Cast on. 5. This project is knitting from bottom to top. So the cast on should be small number 5. And I am going to increase slowly on every right side. And I want you to remember, okay? First 2 and last 2 stitch will be not candle flame pattern. The first one, beginning and end, that's gonna be just a neat edge. And second stitch from start and end will be garter stitch. Okay, so if you're knitting right side, first and last stitch will be slip 1 knitwise. And if it's wrong side, first and last stitch will be purl. Okay, that's what you have to remember. So in my pattern, those 2 stitch at the beginning and end, I put the yellow color. Okay, so you don't have to mix up. And so if it's not yellow, that's candle flame pattern. And this is wrong side, prep row. Purl 1 to start, and second stitch is garter stitch, so always knit. So after the 2 stitch, that'll be candle pattern, so that will be purl. And second from the last, knit for the garter, and the last stitch always for the neat edge. And I just did purl. Okay, so turn the work. This is, working in flat. Okay, so there you go. As I show you, the first two and last two will be for edge and garter. Okay, don't forget that. All right, so row number 1, right side, slip 1 knitwise, and second stitch always knit, either right and wrong, and yarn over, knit 1, then yarn over, I increase 2 stitch, then knit second stitch from the last and slip 1 knitwise at the end. Okay, so row number 2, wrong side, purl 1 to start, right, and knit 1 for the garter stitch, and after that until 2 stitch from the end should be knit over knit stitch and purl over purl stitch and purl over yarn over. Okay, so I just did the yarn over in previous row, so of course there's gotta be yarn over stitch. Okay, so this is yarn over, so purl, and this is just a regular purl, so purl and yarn over stitch, purl. Then last 2 stitch, knit and purl at the end because this is wrong side. Okay, row number 3, right side, slip 1 knitwise and knit stitch for garter and knit again, then yarn over, knit stitch, yarn over and knit. Then there's 2 stitch left, so knit for the garter stitch, then slip 1 knitwise at the end. Okay, so again, first 2 and last 2, the pattern I kind of separated. Okay, purl 1 to start, then knit 1, and after this knit over knit and purl over purl and purl over yarn over stitch, and pretty much all purl except the first and last 2 stitch, because on the right side I pretty much did knit stitch except the yarn over. You know what I'm saying? So the every wrong side same except few rows, so please be careful. Row number 5, right side, slip 1 knitwise and knit 1, then knit 2. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say slip 1 knitwise and knit 3. I always want to kind of separate the pattern. Okay, and this is quite straightforward already. Okay, and knit, then slide 1 knitwise. Okay, as you can see, slowly increase. Row number 6, same. Purl 1 to start and knit 1. Again, if you want to add more garter stitch, this is the time, right? And then after the second stitch, knit over knit, purl over purl, and purl over yarn over stitch until 2 stitch left. Okay, and pretty much all purl. And there we go, 2 more stitch to go. So knit for the garter and purl for the knit edge. Easy. And row number 7, slip 1 knitwise, then knit 1 for the garter, then knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and yarn over and knit 1, 2, 3, and there's 2 stitch left, knit and slide 1 knitwise. Quite easy, but if you forget yarn over, okay, you ruin the pattern because you are adding candle flame little by little. So if you forget to increase, you can't create the perfect shape of the candle. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make sure about it. Okay? There we go. Row number 9. Right side, slip 1 knitwise, knit 1, then yarn over, knit 9. Super easy. As you can see, I pretty much do knit stitch except the yarn over. Okay? Yarn over and knit 1 on the second from the end, and then slide 1 stitch knitwise. And now new technique kicks in. Okay? Knit over knit and purl over purl, and then KBL over yarn over stitch. Knit back loop. Okay, so let's see. Purl 1 to start, as usual. Then knit stitch for the garter stitch. Then next, this is yarn over stitch, right? And KBL means knit back loop. The one out front is front loop, so back loop. Put the needle straight in to the back loop like that. Okay, then knit. That's it. The reason why, okay, if you make yarn over and then purl on wrong side, you create the gap like that. That's design. But on this row, yarn over is only for the increasing. You know what I'm saying? So if I create the hole there, that's not part of the candle design. So I want to close that gap, but I want to increase. So if you do KBL on the yarn over stitch, you can close that gap, okay? And rest of them are same until you encounter another yarn over stitch. Okay, here comes. Okay, so yarn back because it's knit, and then knit back loop to close that yarn over gap. Okay, and knit, then purl. There you go. There's no gap on both sides. Okay, so row number 10, you have to be very careful. And as you can see, you know, the half bottom of the candle flame, I already created. Okay, there you go. This time, slip 1 knitwise and knit 1, and next is yarn over, then purl. But you gotta wait. Yarn over, which means from back to front, usually. However, you have to make purl stitch next, which means you're not increasing. Okay, so if you want to yarn over to increase from knit stitch to purl like that, okay, you have to think. Okay, this is not gonna be regular yarn over, because if it's regular yarn over, you can't create one increase. So double yarn over. So the pattern says yarn over and WYO, means I'm warning you, you have to do kind of rapid again. Okay, see? So this is, you really have to be careful, okay? And then purl 1, then knit 9, and purl 1, and next, okay? After the knit 9, you make purl 1. Then yarn over, then knit 1. Okay? So when you make a purl, the working yarn's out front, but yarn over means you have to put the yarn back, then knit, which means you're not increasing, right? So if the pattern says yarn over from purl stitch to knit, you have to think, because you have to increase. So this time, you keep the working yarn out front, stay there, and then knit. Then you create the yarn over there. So if it's from purl stitch to knit yarn over, okay, I say yarn over and YF means yarn front. You know what I'm saying? There we go. So I'm gonna actually show you how to do step by step in this video. So you will encounter double yarn over and yarn front yarn over. So don't worry about it. I'll show you. And on the wrong side, it's same. Okay, so I'm not gonna show you every wrong side. Okay, so just follow my written pattern and make sure which stitch you're knitting. Okay, and then using the KBL for the yarn over stitch, I'll show you. Don't worry. Row number 13, right side. There's gotta be, double yarn over and yarn front yarn over. Okay, so slide 1 knitwise and knit 1. Regular yarn over and knit 1, because from knit to knit stitch. And now yarn over, but purl stitch, so double yarn over and purl. Knit 3, and now new technique kicks in. S2KP, which means slide 2 stitch, knit, and pass the slip stitch over. That's what that means, okay? So slide 2 stitch knitwise, like that, and knit next one, and pass those 2 slide stitch over knit 1 stitch. You decrease 2 stitch there, okay? So that's why there's 4 yarn over total to increase, but I only increase 2. Okay, that's why I have to decrease there. There we go. And then knit 3 and purl 1. Then keep the working yarn front and then knit 1. And then there we go. yarn over, knit second from the last, and slide 1 stitch. Okay, so you don't have to worry about anything because I include everything in my written pattern. Okay, so row number 15, just a regular yarn over, so you don't have to worry about it. But S2KP, I'll show it one more time. Slide 1 knitwise and knit 1, regular yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, then purl. Then knit 2, then here comes S2KP. Okay, there we go. Slide 2 stitch. Sorry, my stitch was kind of twisted. So slide 2 stitch, knit 1, then pass those 2 slip stitch over. And this create the middle of the candle stitch. Okay, has to be straight up. And rest of them just follow my written pattern. Okay, easy. But you have to be careful. Otherwise, you will ruin the pattern. Can you see? There we go. That's the almost top the candle flame. There we go. As you can see, right now we're just about there. And then, I started knitting the bottom of the, second row of the candle flame. You know what I'm saying? Because slowly increasing. Okay, row 17, slide 1 stitch and knit 1, then knit 2, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, busy, then purl, knit 1, then S2KP. Okay, slip 2 stitch knitwise, knit next stitch, then pass the slip stitch over. There you go. And knit 1, purl 1, and rest of them just follow my written pattern. Okay? To be really honest with you, I don't really have to show you every single right side of the row because it's quite straightforward. But I will anyway. Row number 19, right side, slip 1 knitwise, knit for the garter stitch, then knit 3. Then regular yarn over, then knit 1, and another yarn over and knit 3. Then purl 1 and S2KP, slip 2 stitch knitwise, then knit 1 and pass the slip stitch over. This S2KP, you decrease 2 stitch at the same time, right? Do not use other technique because this stitch creates the mid of the candle flame, okay? And I want that stitch kind of straight up, so, okay? Okay, row 21, right side. Very straightforward, but let's do that. Slide 1 stitch, knit 1, and yarn over, then knit 9. And there's no S2KP here because the first candle flame has been done, pretty much. purl 1, then knit 1, this is the mid stitch, then purl 1, knit 9, and then yarn over, knit 1 and slide 1 stitch knitwise. And at the end, I put the number, okay? That has to be the stitch count, okay? There we go. And row number 22, wrong side. Why I'm showing you the wrong side? That's because KBL, knit back loop, kicks in. Purl 1 and knit 1 for the garter stitch, and after that, knit over knit stitch, purl over purl stitch, and KBL over yarn over. There we go, KBL, because that was the yarn over stitch. There you go, knit back loop to close the gap, right? And after that, knit over knit, purl over purl. You know, at the very beginning, you know, the right side I use pretty much knit stitch without the yarn over. So the wrong side, pretty much all purl, except the, you know, the edge and garter stitch. However, you know, from the mid pattern, there is the purl stitch kicks in on the right side of the row. So you really have to be careful when you're knitting wrong side. Make sure which stitch you're going to knit. You know what I'm saying? And then 23, 24 coming up. And I have to actually explain a little bit from the row 25, okay? So let's finish the row 23, slip 1 knitwise, then knit for the garter stitch, then yarn over, double yarn over, yarn over. You know what I'm saying? So 1, come out, and 2. Then purl 1. Then knit 9. Again, if you want to do yarn over increase from knit to purl, you have to do double yarn over. And then the next yarn over is from purl stitch to knit stitch yarn over increase. So after you make the purl one, okay, your working yarn is out front. So keep the working yarn front, then knit 1 so you can increase. Okay, a lot of pattern doesn't say anything like this. Just say yarn over right here, purl 1, and then keep the working yarn front, then knit, right? So sometimes when you encounter the pattern like that, you have to think, okay? Otherwise, you know, you won't be able to knit that project, okay? But for me and for you, I write it down because I don't want you to make a mistake. Now, after the row 24, means starting from row number 25, you have to repeat from row 25 to row 36, okay? And it's pretty much same as from row number 13, but of course more stitch, so you have to repeat, okay? And the pattern, I use the bracket. Bracket part means you have to repeat until certain stitch count, okay? So slip 1 knitwise and knit that same, okay? And then bracket starts, right? Yarn over, keep the yarn front, okay? Well, this time just yarn front and knit 1. This is regular yarn over, okay? And then yarn over, increase, so double yarn over and purl. Then knit 3, okay? Then S2KP. I don't really have to show you, so remember, slip 2, knit next one, and pass the 2 stitch over, and then knit 3, then purl, then bracket ends, right? Which means you have to come back the beginning of the the yarn over bracket. So that's why purl 1, then yarn over and knit this time. That's why I said yarn front. Okay? The real beginning, you didn't really have to say yarn front because yarn over from knit to knit. But this time, end of the bracket is purl 1. Then yarn over and then knit 1. So you have to make sure the working yarn has to be front and increase. There we go. Okay? And then another yarn over right away, right? Because repeat of the bracket. So there we go, double yarn over and purl. And rest of them are same, but can you actually see the number at the end? Equal 31 and 3. Okay, means total should be 31. Okay, and you have to repeat bracket until, okay, 3 stitch left. That's what that means. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 and purl 1. This is end of the bracket and there's 3 stitch left. 1, 2, 3. There you go. And keep the yarn front, then knit 1. So I create the another yarn over and regular yarn over and knit 1 and slip 1 knitwise. Okay, so it's a little bit, complicated, but if you follow my written pattern, no problem. Okay, row number 26 is same as, other wrong side of the row. So show you row 27. I just did slip 1 knitwise and knit 1 and bracket starts. Knit 1, regular yarn over, knit 1, regular yarn over and knit 1, then purl and knit 2, then S2KP. There we go, and pass those 2 slip stitch over. There we go, and knit 2, 1 and 2, then purl 1. This is end of the bracket, and go back from the beginning of the bracket, which is knit 1, yarn over and knit 1, yarn over. Okay, and after the second repeat of the bracket, okay, you should have 5 stitch left. There you go. Then here comes end of the bracket. Then knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, one more knit 1 for the garter, then slide 1 stitch knitwise. There we go. So again, you have to repeat row number 25 to row 36, okay? Obviously, total stitch count will be more, but the leftover stitch count should be same, okay? So next repeat, you have to repeat the bracket one more time, every time, okay? So here comes, I'm doing the bracket, first bracket. So purl 1 and knit 1, then S2KP, and there we go, and pass that 2 stitch over. Okay, then knit 1 and purl 1. Then start all over the bracket, only bracket. Okay, repeat. So knit 2 and yarn over, blah blah blah, until purl 1 at the end of the bracket. You should have 7 stitch left, and after the bracket, that's the 7th stitch pattern. Okay, you know, this is kind of the hard because you cannot put the marker really, you know. So one thing you have to know is that S2KP, that's gonna be mid stitch of the candle flame, right? So if that stitch is kind of, you know, not in right in the middle, you did something wrong. Okay, so make sure that S2KP stitch has to be mid of the candle flame. Okay, and this is row 31, slide 1, then knit 1, then bracket start, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, okay, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 3. You know, this is quite straightforward, so let me say something. When I actually knit, I watch TV, other YouTube, or whatever. You know, just repeat, right? But sometimes I forgot to check. Then when I find out that I ruined the design because I skipped the yarn over or whatever, right? So I have to go back, you know, to correct it, fix it, right? It's so hard. So please make sure, you know, you know, you have to follow the pattern because, you know, knit 3, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 3. Sometimes, you know, even if you're not watching TV, you get confused. Okay? So take your time. Make sure, you know, which stitch you're knitting. And the good thing is S2KP. If S2KP stitch is not the mid of the candle flame, you notice right away you did something wrong. Okay? There we go. And at the end, as was saying, you know, after the bracket, if you don't have stitch count that I indicate, you know, if you don't have it, like here, 9 stitch after the bracket, you did something wrong. Okay? That's why I put those number there for you. Okay? So this is row number 33. Let's do that together. This is quite easy. There's no S2KP. So slip 1 knitwise, knit 1 for the garter, and yarn over. Then bracket starts. Knit 9. And purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. And after the purl 1, start all over the bracket. And after the second repeat has done, you should have 11 stitch left. Then after the bracket, knit 9, yarn over, knit 1 and slip 1 knit wise is the pattern for those 11 stitch. There we go. I'm checking, make sure. Okay. So now I'm doing outside of the bracket. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then yarn over, knit 1 and slide 1 knitwise. And 34 KBL kicks in. Okay? So from row 25 to row 36, this is the only row you have to use KBL. Okay? So please maybe put some mark and make sure you have to do the KBL. If you don't do KBL over the yarn over stitch, you create the, the gap there, which you don't need for the pattern. I mean, design. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Purl stitch, purl over purl stitch, right? So you really have to look. And this is knit. Yeah, I actually purl over knit stitch. I wasn't really paying attention, but, next row I find out and I can actually fix it easily. But if you don't need to fix it, that's the best, right? So yarn over is coming soon. There's only 2 yarn over in this, row 35. So obviously there's only 2 KBL right here. So KBL is knit, so yarn back and knit back loop. Okay. There you go. That's supposed to be knit 1 because that's the garter stitch, the second from the end. So there you go. And let's do row 35. Almost end. Okay. And slip 1 purl knitwise and knit 1. Then double yarn over kicks in, 1 and 1 more wrap. Okay, because this is, the yarn over increase from knit to purl. Okay, so I just did regular yarn over, so that's not enough, right? So 1 and 2. Then bracket starts, purl 1 and easy, knit 9, purl 1 and knit 1. And you have to repeat until the 13th stitch left. And yeah, this yarn over is the gap yarn over. So row number 36, I don't have to use the KBL. Super easy, I again, any project, obviously you can't skip 1 stitch, right? So, but it's really hard to find out where the mistake is, So you got to be very careful while you're knitting, okay? Okay, almost end of the row 35. And the end of the row 36, you gotta go back to row 25. Okay, and here comes last 2 stitch, knit 1 and slide 1 stitch, last stitch, knit wide. That's it. And you finish row number 36, and I did. So every repeat, the next repeat of the row 25 to row 36, you add 1 candle flame. Okay, they start with 1 candle, and second 2 candle, and I just finish 3 candle. And next repeat 25 to 36, I will create the 4 candle on top of the 3 candle. You know what I'm saying? And you just have to repeat until your desired length. You know what I'm saying? And again, I use pretty much 650 yard of the knit, the yarn. And let me actually tell you one more tip. Okay, this is actually wrong side, and as you can see, the yarn over stitch sometimes overwrap the stitch in front. Okay, so sometimes you don't know, is there 2 stitch or 1 stitch, and yarn over first or independent stitch first. So you gotta be careful and take your time, and you should be able to know which one is which. And here comes just independent and then yarn over. By the way, if you can hear the little banging noise, I'm so sorry. The unit upstairs is renovating, so it's really hard sometimes. Anyway, so please be careful, when you're knitting on wrong side. Sometimes, yarn over cover on top of the regular stitch. So sometimes you thought, oh, this is 1 stitch, because beautifully, completely, merged, right? So you don't notice there's 2 stitch there. Anyway, so after this, you can bind off if you want. I add few garter stitch on top of it, after 36 row 36. And when you do the garter stitch, I still increase. And there's the pattern there, the right side, slip 1, knit 1, then yarn over. Okay, and wrong side, it's all knit, but the yarn over part, I don't want to create the gap, so I use the KVL. Okay, and I actually measure the sizes, 1.5 yard the wide, and maybe 1 yard height. Okay, so that's about it. Okay, this is it. Thank you for watching, and if you want to try to knit this, good luck and enjoy knitting. Again, this is great holiday gift. Bye for now.